And as always, this is totally a work of fiction, because no one would tune into the stream otherwise. But hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time for us to be oving the devil.
Today!
You have no idea how much all of us have been looking forward to this session.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let's see, have we unlocked any bonuses? I'm just curious. Doesn't look like it.
Probably just like concept gallery stuff, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say we avoid that just so we don't accidentally
Yeah.
spoil something.
I think we've seen all of the characters that are going to appear in this episode, except for one who will become very relevant very quickly. And I will allow whoever wants to take them.
Fair enough.
Alright. Yep, I made sure that was it.
So last time, just to catch everybody up, we learned David had a ex-boyfriend, and he himself was apparently a bad track record of constantly rotating significant others. Trying to remember what all else happened. Oh, we found the secret back room inside David's basement, and we currently have Sarah trying to decrypt whatever was in that.
While she deals with all of the remaining reality with her subconscious, because she's doing that in the foreground of her thoughts. But yeah, now we get to see how Sarah actually works out as an actual assistant character. Just a preliminary hearing, huh? You wouldn't know it from the look on her face. But I shouldn't have expected any leeway once we stepped into the courtroom. Not with her.
Emma is the one player who takes skirmish practice very seriously.
That's the adjutant. Wow, we're off to a great start, y'all. Adjutant up there?
Mm-hmm.
Is it asleep?
It's loading. And again, claim if you want, apparently this is a loved character in the series.
Mm-mm. It needs to load?
Don't be rude, not every ad can afford to be decked out as extravagantly as you. Especially not those the state buys in bulk.
There's an audience.
You mean the gallery? That's nothing. You should have seen the Charlie Brown adults. I'm glad someone in here got that joke. It could have been a lot worse. Word of any trial in the case of David Ash's death must have spread like wildfire, even a mock trial like this one. Detectives like Reyes or London would get chewed out for leaking things to the press. But uninformed officers had little to lose and a lot to gain by dropping a text there to their attentive friends in the media. And then there's the corporate plants. Interns, usually preferably ones with modded eyes. It's illegal to film inside a courtroom, but this is the year 2086. Things are going to get out one way or the other. I don't like having my face on camera. I don't like attention in general. But I'm not such a coward I'd skip David's funeral just because there'd be paparazzi outside of it. My pretty little likeness was gonna end up in the background of some tabloid photograph one way or another by the end of this circus. I just want to imagine because she still hasn't really answered. I keep forgetting her name across the way.
Emma?
Yeah, hasn't really answered Emma, so she's just been standing there having just like two clarifying things to her ad, and then has just been standing here for 5 minutes in silence having this entire inner monologue. At least this way, it's a decent marketing for my legal services.
What will happen once the adjutant finishes loading? How will the trial proceed?
With all those films you watch, I'd figured that you could extrapolate.
I am asking so as to correct any misconceptions.
Well, not everything you saw on the silver screen is outdated. The court will come to order, and there will be a clarification of the charges. The defense enters a plea, and if it's not guilty, the prosecution begins making their case.
That means calling witnesses to the stand, correct?
Mostly, sometimes they'll testify virtually from a separate location. Depends on the security concerns surrounding the particular individual and the case.
What do you do then? Sit here and watch?
Not if I want to get paid. I cross-examine witnesses after the prosecution are done questioning them. I can present evidence or witnesses of my own in response as long as I have discovery backing me.
You said that before. Discovery means...
Just that I can't pull stuff out of my pockets and present it without any kind of context. I have to have proof that I acquired it legally during the course of my investigation. Most of the time, that means having recordings or witnesses that can verify my investigation. I'm not Phoenix Wright. I can't just rob a crime scene.
Which I can provide.
What do you mean? Maya's the witness that he stole it.
So it's my job then, huh?
Oh. Well, first, tell me, have you seen my public defender's badge? Oh, Lord.
You what?
That was too well timed, Sarah. You didn't think I was letting you tag along because I liked you, did you?
And the jury? I don't see where they would sit.
The jury hasn't sat in the actual courtroom for years now. They have their own chambers where they watch a feed of the trial proceeding in anonymity.
And that's not an issue? Don't people want to look someone in the eye before passing judgment on them?
Have you seen social media? Nope.
Why am I the
You
one who...
expect me to have Twitter?
True, I believe
What is
David...
this, 2025? Sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, no, just imagine. You imagine my father would let me anywhere near generative AI?
Oh!
Oh.
Damn.
We have fun here. You've got an old-fashioned sense of justice, don't you? But there's no jury at a preliminary hearing anyway. It's only meant to evaluate whether or not the prosecution has enough evidence to go to trial. A mere formality in today's day and age. With tools like optics and arcs, there's never any shortage of evidence to work with.
So, all you have to do today is just convince the adjutant?
Easier said than done. Adjutants lean heavily towards evidence over arguments. And right now, all evidence suggests that David killed himself. If it's going to be an uphill battle, I can't afford to stumble. I need to focus on establishing an alternate interpretation of the facts, and it needs to be solid. But I don't have a
What
suspect.
I'm hearing is that they function as the IRB, sorry.
Also, just remind me I need to do something if I'm going to interact with chat. I'm pretty sure this game would not like it if I have to start typing things on my actual keyboard.
Mm.
Come on, let me in. There we go. But I don't have a suspect or even a motive for killing David yet. Anyway, I need to be sharp. It doesn't play nice enough for me to be anything less.
I think it's waking up.
You know what? Since I'm gonna be Emma and Vaughn's going to be
Morgan.
Morgan, right?
I could do this if you would like.
So I have also heard of this character.
Mhm.
some advice.
Hmm?
You're gonna start flat, and then you're gonna go camp.
Oh, I love that. Sign me the fuck up.
Go for it.
Okay.
Off.
This third lower court is now in session. Adjutant AD 84 presiding. I call to order this case of the people versus Asher. Do the people wish to make an opening statement?
I love her visor already.
No, Your Honor.
No point in bothering when it's just the adjutant here.
Very well. Do the defense wish to make an opening statement?
Not this time, Your Honor. Might as well ring the bell and get the shit show started.
If neither the people nor the defense wish to make an opening statement, then it falls to me to set the stage. My model name is Adjutant. My unit designation code is AD84. I am a machine, an automated dependent, and I serve by the state by presiding over trials. You might find yourself wondering, why? What gives a machine the right to judge a human? A fair question, but the answer is simple. In every culture, in every society, no matter how it is worshipped, enshrined, or deified, justice has one defining quality. Justice is beautiful. Like a balanced equation, like the golden ratio, like the Vitruvian man, justice is beautiful. So what gives me the right? This gorgeous bod! Whatever. Forget it. Forget I said anything. I was trying to lighten the mood, but I can see everyone hates me.
I love her already.
Do the trial without me, the guilty or whatever.
Your Honor?
Wait, what the flip? This defendant's already dead. Why are we doing this? Is this a debug thing? 'Cause I'll log the error if I need to.
No, Your Honor. This is a preliminary hearing to determine whether David Asher did, in fact, commit suicide as he...
I get it. You want to make sure he wasn't cuckoo in the cranium before you cut up his will like a T-bone. I didn't realize that adjutants were so lively.
They aren't. They're supposed to be austere and statuesque. Looks like we got served the most in need of repairs adjutant in the court system could find.
Someone flipped the Valley Girl switch on her.
Whatever paper pusher we rushed to get this trial going must have wanted a little payback for the kindness.
What's that look for? Could it be you're trying to size me up?
Why did you give it the ability to blush? Wouldn't dream of it, Your Honor.
Good. Because if you have doubts about my ability to run this trial, I could always just enact summary judgment here and now. I'm sure you'd find my ruling to be fair and even-handed.
That won't be necessary, Your Honor.
Fun fact about her name. AD84. Count the letters.
Yeah.
Ugh. She's much more of a character than I'm used to seeing up here, even counting all the flesh and blood judges I've met. But she's still just an adjutant. She'll follow the evidence where it leads. So as long as I can make a few adjustments for the occasional outburst from the bench, my plan's still workable.
So, people, shall we get started with that first witness?
Right away, Your Honor. The people called Dr. Yumi Sato to the stand. Hey!
It's Yumi.
Hey. When are we talking to myself? In 3 different directions. Yeehaw.
So, how about it, pretty lady?
This is the episode where we go back around because you were barely in episode 1 and now you're the most featured character.
Oops.
I'm sorry, I can't not hear anyone say pretty lady in anything without immediately thinking of the Animaniacs pretty lady!
Throwing Laven!
You swear to tell the whole and unadulterated truth to the best of your ability.
I do.
Good enough for me.
Little star eyes.
Dr. Sato, you were in charge of the autopsy for David Asher, were you not?
I was.
And when did you make your examination?
I started last night. Well, technically, 1 a.m. would be very early this morning.
I only just realized that it's slightly covered up by the text boxes she appears in, but the only way you can tell she's got an augmented arm is the fact that the rest of the full, like, sleeves and tattoos aren't on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can still say last night if you're talking about 1 in the morning.
Objection!
Oh, here we go.
The defense will have their opportunity to cross-examine. Until then, they should refrain from making errant remarks.
The hell, all I said was...
Yeah, what she said.
You mean sustained?
Don't get cute with me, counselor.
I didn't even get a point on that! They just took a credit!
Thankfully, it's just one chip.
Being cute is my job.
God damn, we've barely gotten started.
That seemed pretty bad.
Oh.
Yeah, no kidding.
Blind is how much credit you'll lose for answering incorrectly when you yourself aren't controlling the ante. Blind increments on its own throughout the trial as the stakes get higher. Oh boy. But resets at the end of each day. Okay. Blind starts at and caps out at a higher number if you're playing in high roller, which I don't think we are.
Or not.
Mind the blind number in the top left when it appears. Love the little Morgan card.
Oh, and it's a king card.
And it's a King of Hearts, which means it's, go ahead.
No, you go first.
I was
Nope,
just gonna
you
say
go
it's a King of Hearts, so it's also a Suicide King.
Uh-huh.
We should try to avoid being penalized in the future.
Thanks for the tip. Shake it off, I'll get my chance to raise objections of my own soon enough.
Dr. Sato, were you able to determine the cause of death?
He passed away due to respiratory failure.
Could you explain what that means to the court?
Essentially, he wasn't getting enough oxygen into his blood. It seems by the time he arrived at the hospital, he was no longer breathing.
What does respiratory failure look like? What are the symptoms?
There would be lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, pale skin, and a bluish tinge around certain extremities.
And the condition he was in matched those symptoms?
Correct.
In your experience, what are the most common causes of respiratory failure?
It can be caused by injury or disease. But the subject had no wounds or reported illnesses and otherwise appeared to be perfectly healthy.
And what else could cause respiratory failure then?
It is also commonly seen in fatal drug overdoses.
Drug overdoses.
I love that you waited until the music just stopped for that.
Did you perform a talk screen on Dr. Asher?
Yes, but his talk screen came back clean. Whatever killed him wasn't something we've encountered before.
Wait, a clean talk screen? Clean. Proceed automatically during testimony, but you can still advance the text faster if you want. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
they're
the speed button.
Can't let this chance slip by. I need to catch her mistake the second it comes out of her mouth. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, now I need... It wouldn't let me pick anything! Every time...
Were you trying to click or use your controller?
I was trying to... I was using my mouse. I was just trying to, like, pull up the options on each card, but...
I'm wondering if it's doing a tutorial thing.
You kept moving your mouse to the left. Were you doing that?
Yeah, because there's 3 tabs that I need to know if I'm putting from, like, one option or if they're all part of the same card. And
they were...
Opened your mouth without thinking, huh? There's only room for one airhead in this courtroom, and it's not you. It's me.
Of course, Your Honor. Okay, so I think I just have to flash hit one of the cards, and, let's see here, can I pull... yes, I can. Okay. Minorities be given ownership. Okay, not that one. David's contract. Binder containing the full text of Deja Asher's employment. Details compensation for dismissal. Definition for what constitutes a breach of contract. Not a light read. Okay, so it's definitely not the contract. I would say it's probably the whiskey. So yeah, it's gonna have to be the whiskey because he didn't come up clean. Oh.
There were other statements, too.
Well, there's David's cup.
That's not the cup that they're, displaying.
Yeah, it's gotta be the whiskey. It's the only thing not currently, like, being referenced.
Well, I think there are other statements, too, so let's go through those first.
I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, Zako, but like I can hear the Danganronpa influence in the music.
This is just the counter espionage stuff.
Yep.
Well, the autopsy already shows that he had an unknown substance in his body, so it didn't come back clean.
Mm-hmm.
Allowing curly handwriting to... Back to meds. But that's not one of the options being given, so we do know that. like I said, it's gotta be the whiskey, because out of the 3 things it gave us.
Well, again, there were multiple statements because it's like Ace Attorney. You got to look through the different statements and then.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, and it didn't give me the time for it. Didn't give me either time or the ability to
you pick the statement before. It's fine. If you just hit return, we can try this again.
Okay. Second I press call, it's gonna...
Like, can you not progress? No. That's what I was trying to do. Like, advancing the dialogue. Essentially wasn't getting enough oxygen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's timed. Okay, I see what it's doing. This is what you're calling, I think. And then...
You have to just pick it. Like, you can't read any of this stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, can't read anything on the cards and can't interact with them. You just gotta pick between the 3. It's impossible for David Ash's talk screen to be clean, and we all know it. Since he was on camera drinking alcohol the night that he died.
That makes sense.
And that scared you?
The witness merely misspoke, Your Honor. As it plainly states on the tox report itself, Dr. Asher did have alcohol in his blood. But not at such concentration as to be lethal.
Yeah, my bad. When I said the tox screen was clean, I just meant... I didn't tell the attending physicians anything they didn't already know.
Overall, a little more nitpicky than I like to be, but at least I was able to balance the momentum, more or less.
So I think what the trick will be is that when it gives you like the 3 pieces of evidence at the start, pop open your phone, refresh yourself on what each thing was, and then we let the statements flow by till we find the one that like counter it.
Yeah, and then you have to instantly click from one of the 3, and nothing else that's part of the UI can be interacted with. Because that's what I was trying to do earlier.
Shall we continue, Dr. Sato? If the tox screens were negative for pharmaceuticals and drugs, what caused Dr. Asher's respiratory failure?
During my autopsy, I analyzed his blood and was able to isolate a foreign compound.
So there was a lethal dose of a drug inside his body. It just happened to be a drug that the hospital had never encountered before.
That's correct.
I think we're all going to get tired pretty fast if we don't at least pick a placeholder name for this substance, Your Honor. If I hear the phrase fatality, I'm going to shoot the first person who says it.
The people don't object, Your Honor.
In that case, I'll put all my creative heuristics to work coming up with an original, scientific, fitting name for the substance. Like a name like Omega.
I wish I had a sound button for just the dial-up noises.
Omega 3.
Saris, I think you know how that's actually supposed to be said. You do it a lot.
That name is already taken. Fine. Call it Delta or whatever.
Delta, used in science to denote an unknown variable. Not bad.
Delta has other meanings when it comes to drugs, but yeah, our Delta matches no known public pharmacology or toxicology records. That being said, chemically, it does have all the hallmarks of a general depressant.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, we're all generally depressed.
So it stands to reason that it would exhibit a similar effect on the body when ingested.
I still just like looking back at what Morgan in her head. Why did you program anxiety into robots, David? Why would you do that? What kind of harmful god are you?
Apparently omega-3 is an already existing thing. It's a fatty acid.
Yeah.
You say ingested. Why?
I eliminated all other possibilities during my examination of the body. He must have swallowed it, and judging by his stomach contents, it must have been a liquid.
Thank you, Dr. Sato. Shall I summarize things for the court?
Yes, please. I wasn't listening that closely.
The victim died of respiratory failure.
Oh look, it's the image that we stole for our thumbnail.
And his talk screen showed that his blood was clear of anything that could cause respiratory failure. Except for this unknown substance, the poison we've labeled Delta.
Well, that sounds like a textbook suicide. Should we wrap it up here?
Not quite yet, Your Honor. This may clearly be a poisoning, but there's at least one detail about this case that doesn't feel like a suicide at all. Okay.
Autopsy.
Okay, so these are just the facts with them. Okay, so...
Right there before he died. Respiratory failure, unknown substance in blood. Whiskey.
I feel like it's gonna be Jung's testimony or the fact that there was nothing actively in the whiskey.
Yeah, let's try the whiskey. Oh, I think you have to click in. Yeah. The whiskey? What about it?
It wasn't that expensive. Why
Oh.
wouldn't he... Sorry.
Oh, no, I think we might have picked the wrong one, because...
It wasn't that expensive. Why wouldn't he want to drink the most expensive liquor possible if he was?
You really want to finish that thought? Okay.
Focus suicide's a lot harder to pull off when you got... I guess it's Jung's testimony that she was there.
Yeah, let's try that one.
The people shouldn't get ahead of themselves. Oh yeah, no smiling Morgan.
There we go.
There's nothing textbook about a supposed suicide that had a witness sitting there watching it happen.
As you say.
Well, now I'm lost. Was this poisoning a suicide or not?
If that's the case, then perhaps we should give the defense the opportunity to cross-examine. Unless they're going to insist on testifying themselves.
How kind of you to offer. Balls in my court. For a second there, I thought you were just gonna yell balls. Balls in my court now, so how do I counter? Emma's argument basically goes as follows. David ingested Delta unknowingly, and the Delta caused his respiratory failure. He died of respiratory failure, and thus David committed suicide. Oh, now we're doing blackjack. Fantastic. I'm terrible at this. During blackjack, every piece of information you learn deals you a card. Choose only questions that are logical and relevant, and only press if you think a line of questioning is worth continuing. Or else you'll go bust and lose your credit. Oh boy, I've not been doing great on this case so far. Hover over press to see what a follow-up question would be. You can only win blackjack when you reach exactly 21. So don't press further if you're already there. And don't ask the wrong questions. Shut the hell up, game. With my cross-examination, I need to put a microscope over the weakest part of the argument. And hope that some cracks will appear under pressure.
Oh, I have an idea.
Okay.
Can you pull up your phone?
I have my phone open.
No, not your phone, the in-game phone. What we could do is that we could just save as we go.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. So this... Okay, this is just...
That's the programming code.
Yeah, I'm just clearing this stuff. Oh, let's see what the adjutant's
80.
Start with Porter, because we haven't seen our boy in a while. I knew he was a bassist. Listen, man, we can tell ourselves at literally a distance just based on the genre we play and how we dress.
Oh, you play bass?
For a little while, was in a band for a very short period of time, never played any gigs. Likes itineraries, grilling, and champagne. Did not expect him to be a guy for itineraries of all things.
Oh, really?
Resistance training, producers, ads. Best at gift giving. Huh. The worst at folding laundry. You know what, fair. And fave quote, I don't do requests. Yeah, you're definitely a musician. Okay. Wow, nearly 300 kilograms. She a heavy bitch.
Metal.
Likes, yeah. And also, I think she's like 8 foot tall. Yeah, 263 centimeters. Likes raw salmon, running water, and gymnastics. Okay. Dislikes criminals, contrarians, pigeons. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's from California.
Well, that and also she's statue size, so. Signs leap. Of course. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just love self-assigned Libra.
Yeah.
Type open, obedient, observant O people. And we don't need the 3 sizes, but I think that's more of a Danganronpa reference. Okay.
Let's pull Coles and Delta. I got a good feeling about that one.
Okay. Dr. Sato, you are only able to even identify the presence of this delta after hours of work. Can you really be sure that this never-before-seen chemical can cause respiratory failure?
Well, I have had time to run simulations, and they do give every indication that it would act as a depressant. Ingest enough of any depressant and respiratory failure would occur.
Okay, so we can avoid having to press or stay. So
I'm gonna save right here.
I was just gonna say we can stay since we want to point towards the delta, but now that we've established that extra little bit of info, I think that's good.
Okay, but I'm just choosing the points where I save now.
Fair enough.
Only simulations? Oh. Because they're telling us how we would question if we went forward.
It's fair. I still say stay and see if we can ask the other questions.
Okay. Well, we know it definitely was respiratory failure that killed him.
Ingested? Try to attack that argument again?
Okay. And then after that, I think I'm going to press the delta because at this point, we're very close to 21.
Let's see what this gives us.
Dr. Sato, you said that the subject had to have ingested the Delta orally. But how sure can we actually be about that?
Pretty sure. I mean, I could go into detail about all the cavities that I checked, but...
Was it knowingly ingested would be our press.
I think that's a good question. Like, did he know that he got it? Because that's the thing that we're trying to disprove, was that he did it knowingly and
Right.
it was suicide.
Yeah,
Right.
fair.
Well, and...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Clicked too fast.
No, you're okay.
But how sure can we be that the subject ingested the Delta knowingly?
Well, we can't be sure of that. Certainly not just from an autopsy.
You said it must have been a liquid, yes? Would have to have been a large amount.
Depends on the
Ooh.
concentration of the delivery solution. It could have been just a drop.
The kind of thing that could easily go unnoticed, yes?
Calls for speculation, Your Honor.
Withdrawn.
Oh man. I wanted to jump on her case.
So,
Yeah, I'd say let's go poke that, press that Delta one.
okay, it's just gonna go back through all of it. You've ran simulations. So you haven't tested Delta on an actual person.
Ooh!
Perfect!
No, I haven't. That would be very difficult to do, given our extremely limited sample. Not to mention, highly unethical.
Now you see here, I don't really get along with the idea of ethics. I'm a lawyer. And also a
So
murderer.
we're in the cyberpunk. We're also in the cyberpunk corporate future. It's like ethics went out the window about 30 years ago at best.
Of course. But without such a test, you don't actually know for sure that Delta can cause any of the symptoms you've described.
Was there a question in that statement, counselor?
You don't actually know for sure, do you?
No, not yet anyway.
Seem like that's blackjack. Thank you for your time, Dr. Sato. We all appreciate it.
No, I see that achievement.
Yeah. But it does seem like you're still in the dark about many details regarding Dr. Ash's death, wouldn't you say?
Well, poisoning via the compound we're calling Delta is still the most likely explanation.
So there are other explanations for what happened.
Defense is calling for speculation, Your Honor.
It's not speculation when a medical examiner is attempting to explain the cause of death, Your Honor.
The witness will answer the question.
Well, respiratory failure can be caused by illnesses. If he had undiagnosed pneumonia or some other disease and his respiratory system was weakened.
Undiagnosed pneumonia with his level of healthcare?
It is technically possible.
I'll take it. I have no more questions for this witness. Oh, I felt weak, but I can't be picky when I'm stalling for time. Seeding doubt wherever I can, however I can, is just all I can. It's about all I can manage.
Detective Reyes, you're one of the leads in investigating this crime scene.
Oh, I see. We're just going up like the scale of how many people possibly like Morgan that are being introduced here, because Sato kind of likes Morgan. Now we're going up to really does not like Morgan.
Yes, ma'am. And did you interview the EMTs who first arrived on the scene? I did. They responded to an emergency signal from the home security console located in the kitchen. What did they find when they arrived on the scene? The victim was unconscious on the floor of his parlor. He was receiving CPR from a witness, the individual who had called them. They were both airlifted to Gatesfield Memorial Hospital, and Dr. Asher was declared dead shortly after arriving there.
She's actually handling herself pretty well up on the stand. I half expected her to roll her eyes during the swearing in. But when you take into consideration her love for boot-heel authority, she might be right home here in the courtroom, the very seat of the state's power over the people. Wow! It's hilarious because we know that Morgan would literally say ACAB for all of the wrong reasons, but still be factually right. Oh.
The witness met with the deceased about half hour before he fell ill, from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Two of them talked for some time and shared a drink. Shortly after, Dr. Asher became distracted, lightheaded, and eventually non-responsive. And during the same time period, drinking the same liquor. Oh, excuse me, I switched up on that. And during the time period, drinking the same liquor, the witness exhibited no symptoms themselves. None. Through a collaborative effort with Noble Electronic Security Division, we searched the entire building. We found nothing unusual in any of the food or drink on the premises, including the bottle the witness and the deceased drank from. So what was your ultimate conclusion after investigating the scene? The whiskey bottle was clean, the witness's drink was clean. The only person who got sick was Dr. Asher, drinking from a cup that he had prepared. It was our determination that Dr. Asher committed suicide by poisoning himself.
She's pretty tight-lipped up there, but I think she slipped up at least once. Okay, let's review our evidence now. Okay.
Well, we'll know what the evidence is when they bring up the cards.
Fair. The police want to claim that they've eliminated every other possibility and covered every angle. But I know that there are a number of blind spots they're not willing to admit to. Okay, so the
So we got
upright
the
cup.
upright cup again.
David's
David's
cup.
cup. And the
Delta.
poison.
Okay.
Last cup Asher was drinking when he already died. Forensic analysis shows matches for his fingerprints and saliva, but toxicology tests proven inconclusive. Too much of the whiskey was drunk and or evaporated. It was the...
Also checking this
Oh,
guy's
it was the,
tertiary related. Just seeing because some of these might be involved in multiple parts of one of these things, so I was just also checking stuff that'll be like, since most of it's for at the table.
Fair enough.
Okay. Poison.
Unidentified symptoms found in bloodstream. Has mainly similarities to chemical of a depressant drug. No additional treatments found anywhere at the scene of the crime or David's penthouse.
Okay.
Glass of water found in the sink of David Asher's kitchen. Bears Helen Young's DNA and fingerprints. No trace of poison. There it is. Plastic cup with a small amount of whiskey left on and found upright at the dining table. Saliva and fingerprints match Helen Young. Contains no traces of foreign elements.
Alright, that's basically all we got. So now we gotta try to... Right.
Asher met with the witness at 7:30 p.m. last night. By 8 p.m. he was dead. He was the one who prepared their drinks. there was no opportunity for the witness to ever slip him something. He drank from a cup that he himself poisoned.
I think that's where we got call.
Seems pretty cut and dry if you ask me. Okay, yeah, I think you're right there. Just to be sure, we scanned the kitchen, the lab, and the basement. And there was no poison anywhere else.
She slipped up there. Wait out, and I'll get... Okay.
Yeah, I think we could say, yeah, call her on the he himself poisoned bit, because the cup, his cup was inconclusive. Oh, nope, not that one. Ooh. That's cute, counselor. You almost made a salient point.
Okay, now I can see why she kind of doesn't like Emma. Did I get points for that?
Boy, I hope not. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to do this. Overruled.
Ooh, 4.
Okay, so where do you want me to put... So we're going with...
It was the line that said that he himself poisoned.
Okay.
Are you not able to manually progress these?
I can, but I want to do it slower so I don't miss them, because I have to now reread them.
Ah, fair enough. Something. He drank from a cup, he himself poisoned.
That one?
That one, I think. There we go.
You can't make that claim, not when the evidence record clearly shows that tests of David Asher's cup were inconclusive. The police can't claim he drank from a poisoned cup without first proving his cup was, in fact, poisoned. And I got back almost all my chips.
Technicality, baby.
You're talking a lot of sense, lady.
Literally my job, Your Honor.
Does it resolve? Or do you have a response? D.A. Rockford.
Testing on the deceased cup has been inconclusive so far, Your Honor. I don't dispute that. Though I'd be surprised if the defense has any idea how else the poison could have possibly been delivered to Dr. Asher alone.
Well, there are actually needles that are so thin that you can't actually detect them if you're not knowing what to look for. There was a famous murder that went down like that.
Yep.
Not this time, but that's the funny thing about burden of proof. It's not on the defense.
Damn. As we're all aware.
I just want Sarah to be like, I didn't know.
Right. We all knew that. I definitely knew that.
As she's playing on her Switch.
No, it's not a Switch, Sokka. That's the cheeky part. That's clearly a PSP. So, dang
that
for
shit's...
reference.
Oh no, that shit's a Vita.
Now, if the people are done bemoaning that pesky innocent until proven guilty issue, perhaps I could begin my cross-examination.
Fire away, baby. Fire away?
Baby. Oh yeah, green is me. Ray's testimony is meant to show that David's the only one who could have poisoned himself. She'll be on guard and hard set against helping me, but if I keep her focused on eliminating other possibilities, also she won't want to help me because she thinks I'm a bitch. Which is not wrong. I could get her to make my point for me before she even realizes what's happened. I think we could actually get her on this one because Sarah was in the building and is unaccounted for.
True. Yeah.
Also ever seen poisoning self. Actually, all of these are good.
True.
Okay, so I'll try with this one because we are actively trying to, like, track down the actual stuff, and we are just waiting until Sarah can prove something could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Detective, isn't it possible that Dr. Asher was poisoned off camera?
Possible? I don't know how else it would have been done. But that just goes to show it had to have been suicide. The only time he was off camera, he was all by himself. Ooh.
Okay,
Didn't like that one.
They can bust you hard real quick. That's not where I wanted to lead this conversation. I forgot to save.
All good, it's all good. We can bounce back.
Okay. Certainly seemed that way, yes. And now I'm going to save. I need to start saving before I question anyone in this game. I'm not both save scumming. Detective, we've been doing a lot of assuming and reasoning in quick succession, so I'll ask this plainly for the court. Is there any photographic evidence showing David Asher adding anything to his drink that night?
No. Seems he already poured for both of them by the time he returned to the parlor.
He had already poured? In that case, the next question needs to be when and what. There's no poison in the kitchen, we know that.
Well, what I think it is that if I'm understanding game design right, because the anyone else in the building question immediately dinged us, then I think we can ask that any poison in the kitchen wouldn't be safe.
Okay. Detective Reyes, during the course of your investigation, did you find any samples of Delta in the kitchen or parlor?
No.
That was a fast answer.
Well, it's a pretty easy question. If we had found poison at the scene of the crime, that'd be pretty important, don't you think?
What about in his lab? His bedroom? His basement?
No, no, and no. We didn't find Delta. We didn't find Delta or any other unusual substance in any part of his penthouse.
Right, they never found any poison. No poison at all. I think this is the press.
Yeah, let's fire at it.
At any point in the investigation, was poison found on the body of the deceased?
No.
Oh! He must have been searched. Did he have any capsules or vials, eyedroppers?
He didn't even have his wallet on him. Why?
Okay, this is where I'm gonna save, because we only can make this if we get a 2.
Fair enough.
At this point, okay, we did the kitchen. Could he have been poisoned? We have to actually ask, was anyone else in the building? Because we haven't actually, noted that there's a witness, but no one's been talked about it.
Okay, yeah, let's try it.
The only people you saw on the cameras that night were Dr. Asher and this witness, correct?
Yeah, there was no footage of it in the house of anyone else.
Are there any parts of the house that aren't recorded by a camera?
Sure. Hey! There are a number of rooms in the home's interior that don't have cameras in them.
So it's possible that there were others there that night because cameras weren't watching every room.
No, that's not possible. The only way up to the penthouse is through the building's elevator or the fire escape stairs, both of which are on camera. And that still wouldn't get you past this front door, which is also on camera. No one besides the two of them was there that day. We can stay, since we're at 21.
Thank you for enlightening the court about this point, Detective.
What point?
Well, I think it's strange, don't you, Detective? I mean, how could he have possibly poisoned himself without first producing some poison?
Ah.
Jack.
They found none in the building, so they can't prove that he did poison himself. What do you mean procure?
Where did it come from, Detective? The poison that you're so sure was dissolved in his drink. It can't have come from thin air, you understand. It had to have been in another container at some point.
Whatever it was in before, it probably evaporated.
All of it? It only took a small droplet to kill.
Your Honor, are you going to ask them to keep it civil?
In a minute, sure.
The girls are fighting. Don't interrupt.
No, for her, it's just like, no, I'm all about the toxic Yuri. There wasn't any pill oh. Now I'm dying for poison being produced out of thin air in my throat. There wasn't any pill bottle in his bathroom or syringe in his pocket containing this apparently deadly substance. So how did he get it? What did he keep it in? The police want to claim that Dr. Asher committed suicide because they've established that his guest never had an opportunity to kill him. But they failed to prove that the victim had the means to kill himself.
Then I guess I'll be the one to move things along. The Delta didn't come out of thin air, Counselor. And it didn't come from a syringe either. Dr. Asher was able to drip the poison right into his cup. Straight from the source.
Shit, that's way too specific to be a bluff.
Allow me to submit evidence. Allow me to submit into evidence Exhibit G.
Okay. How did we not know about this? We've been bitching about Discovery for 3 sessions.
A piece of machinery found at Dr. Asher's laboratory. Sold under the product name Manufacturer.
Fucking damn it, that's true. It's in our evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I was too busy thinking about the fact that it's 90% used to print android flesh.
Oh, I know this one. It's used in delicate scientific work to produce nanomachines, chemical compounds, and polymers.
And anyone who talks about nanomachines literally says, my sources, I made it up. That's the same machine I saw when Dawes gave me the tour of the production floor.
Very good, Your Honor. It's a valuable tool in any scientific laboratory, and Dr. Asher was well acquainted with its use. Runewalker asks, isn't shared evidence in that an app they both can access? I don't know anything about an app, but yeah, any evidence that we found, Emma has access to as well.
Yeah, it's just that she made a leap that none of us have been led to think back to, because that evidence has only been mostly used in reference to machine fabrication and bio-fucking-mancy. So I didn't think about, oh yeah, part of biomancy is literally creating toxins and or poisons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
As a matter of fact,
Go ahead.
As a matter of fact, he had a number of presets coded into it.
Even the android can see where this is going.
With just a few taps, he could reproduce any number of specific substances for his research. Or any other chemical his heart desired, really.
You think Randoc Mechanics would allow that product to be used to produce illicit chemicals?
Using a manufacturer to make unlicensed drugs does go against their terms and conditions. So Dr. Asher's warranty is certainly null and void.
Okay, and now that I would say the most logical thing would be for me to immediately point out, can we test and make sure his manufacturer wasn't jailbroken?
But they can't hard-code their machines to prevent the production of a drug that hasn't been invented yet. Aha, the game knows you're talking and it's smacking back.
Well, then I would also say, again, going with this line of questioning, then why has nobody checked if it was able to create that substance? And if it had? Because I'm pretty sure a machine like that would have logs, because you literally said it has presets. That's
Dr. Asher died when his respiratory system failed because of a depressant overdose. For him, it would have been peaceful, like falling asleep. You see, he didn't need to commission a synthetic drug from some street vendor or order an exotic poison from overseas. He could produce Delta at any time in the comfort of his own home.
That would also mean that the thing that he's not good at, and the thing we spent most of our time on the production floor establishing, is that he was a programmer, definitely not a chemist. He did work with them and absorb information, but unless someone is literally studying a way for androids to produce poison.
A quick and painless death, readily available in under a minute at a touch of a button.
This is the one thing I hate about games like this, where you can't just point out, okay, you call me on speculation every time. You're jumping over several bridges here.
Specifically, preset 19. Oh, there we go.
Damn. I actually had something for a moment there, but I was playing into Emma's hand the entire time.
Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. But before we move on, perhaps we should take a moment and put together a timeline of evidence as we know them. Not for me, of course, just in case someone else might need it.
Oh, God. Simple enough. We know that Dr. Asher left the parlor and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m. That's where he got the whiskey. And the cups they drank from. And the cameras show him returning to the parlor to drink with the witness at 7:40 p.m. And of course, we know that he fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. Any objections so far, Counselor? Ooh.
Okay, that's definitely a save.
I would say stay. Let her cook for a moment and get to her conclusion first before we go poking.
True, but I also want to check some evidence, because, we just got more information about this, so let's definitely poke at this and see what we got.
Presets on David's model history exist for a compound identical to the substance found in his bloodstream after his death. Damn.
Just want to see what Ray's is. Made a mistake in the timeline.
I say let her cook for a second, because so far this is mostly accurate.
Not this time, no. The timeline you describe is accurate as we know it.
As you say. With this latest piece of evidence, we know that Asher could have easily dispensed the poison directly into his cup. By placing it inside the manufacturer, activating the preset, and simply waiting 2 minutes.
Okay, I think she just gave us the stuff to hang herself. Because that now has a hard time. If we can just prove that the manufacturer... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I keep jumping the gun. Go ahead.
I mean, now if we can investigate the manufacturer, we can just be like, has nobody pressed the preset to actually see if it only takes 2 minutes?
Maybe. Easily accomplished during the...
Oops.
No, you're good, you're good. Wouldn't you say?
Ooh. A complete timeline of events. He had the means. He had the only opportunity. Seems like we're about ready to wrap up here. No?
Yes.
Don't you Gendo Akari at me, game!
Excellent!
Where are we on that loading bar of yours, Sarah?
I
had a feeling you'd say that.
Well, Counselor? Are we done here?
At this point, I think I have to raise.
Yeah, get that gun, lady. I do think that's one of my favorite designs, is the blind justice lady with the AK and the scales.
It's really good.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and look at all this because I'm having to focus too much on playing the game and reading to fully take in the vibe. So I'm probably going to do that, like, because we found out about this game from another stream. So I'm probably going to go back and watch them play through episode 1 and see what they got right instantly and what they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like we're missing at least one biggie here, folks. Namely, motive.
Oh, right. I knew that. I wasn't getting excited to finish early or anything. Baka.
You know what, 80? I'll tell you this. Having been at work and about to be able to leave early and then someone makes you work overtime past when you were going to leave, yeah, I feel your mood. I feel your mood. You're still bad at your job, but I feel your mood.
This is a preliminary hearing, counselor. Our focus should be on the evidence, so...
Just feels like an awful waste of taxpayer dollars to get us all down here for debate and not get to the truth of the matter, you know?
So, I was hoping we wouldn't have to go through this next part.
What are you talking about?
Your Honor, if it pleases the court.
Oh, new evidence? Gimme.
This is a recording of a phone conversation dated at 6:30 p.m. last night between the deceased and a man he was in a relationship with.
Can we just let fucking Porter be? Oh, man. Well, dust off young Leechy.
A man named Isaac Porter.
Porter and David's breakup call. If Emma wants to present it here, now, then the content must be... relevance, Your Honor?
Yeah, that. What bearing does this recording have on the case at hand?
It establishes what emotional state the deceased was in on the day he died.
Cool. Begin playback.
Hello?
The first time they've heard his voice since he died. Wow! Emma out here traumatizing people. You probably don't want to traumatize a serial killer, but you don't know that yet. Always so soft-spoken.
Isaac, you there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
What's wrong?
Don't know. Guess I wasn't expecting you to pick up.
Why not? Did you mean to call me?
Yeah, I did. You gonna ask me how I've been?
Yeah, have you been?
Christ, David.
What's the matter? Whatever it is whatever I did, I'm sorry.
Whatever you did? That's alright, man. I'm sure you are sorry. I just don't want any more apologies from you.
I'm so... Okay.
And I don't think I want anything from you anymore, David.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have done this. This was unnecessary. My bad, man. For not taking the hints. With you, it's always better left unsaid, right? More efficient that way, so you can keep working.
Isaac, if I've been distant with you, or...
Nah, you haven't been distant with me, or cold with me, or anything with me for a while now.
Isaac...
Just forget it, man. Forget I called. Forget it all, yeah?
let's just forget we were ever anything but strangers. That's all we are now anyway.
Isaac, recently I've been distracted, I know.
Nah, don't worry about it. Really, we're good.
Oh. Okay. So do you need anything, or should I?
Where did you even get this?
All of Dr. Asher's incoming and outgoing phone calls were recorded by the building's penumbra system. And the recording continued for several seconds after each call was ended for quality assurance.
Ooh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm. Remind me to check the terms and conditions on my next phone bill.
Shall we hear the rest? Gotta be the last time. The last time I let someone... The last time.
Father.
It might just be a call, but it makes for pretty damning evidence at this point in the discussion. And also, again, David, why did you make an android that can be traumatized? You are such an uncaring god. Emma's got her means, opportunity, and motive all lined up. So why is she looking at me like that?
That was depressing. Can we finish this up without anything else that horrible?
Emma's never been apologetic in victory. So does that mean this is just... pity?
Oh no. Less than 2 hours before Dr. Asher died, Isaac Porter ended their relationship over the phone. The court can make a reasonable assumption about what kind of mental state Dr. Asher was in last night.
That was a bad move, Miss Rockford.
Then, if the people have nothing further to add...
I've been feeling off my game all day, caught between corporate inbreeders and ant-brained protesters, and... But pitying me? Here and now? That's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling.
It's about time for...
Need to call my first witness, no?
Oh no.
You wanna keep going after that?
Sarah's just like, oh no, who have I attached myself to?
What are you doing, counselor?
Just calling the ultimate silver bullet rock solid slam dunk witness a girl could ask for.
Hey! Is here good? Does it matter where I put my hands?
Miss Starling, thank you for coming here today.
Of course, whatever I can do.
What is your relationship to this? What is your relation to the deceased?
I was his executive assistant at Noble Electronics. I would arrange his meetings, coordinate communications between him and other departments. That sort of thing. Ultimate silver bullet.
Starling's the only play I have ever right to. The only stalling tool I have left.
Oh. Her name is Jess Starling.
Mm-hmm.
Just stalling.
Yeah. Game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do a Phoenix Wright name pun.
Yes, it is, and it's actually good. I approve. But game. The fact you wait until literally this point in the game to start showing us, oh, we're also gonna be doing those name conventions. I want to shake you.
I mean, they did the stepladder joke. We should have seen it coming.
Yep.
Huh.
This game knows exactly who its audience is and plays entirely to its audience.
Including the Toxic Yuri and Toxic Yaoi.
Right?
Which was masterfully made to inflict the
Which,
most
like,
pain.
okay. As a quick pause, I feel as though that really does drive, like, one of the things that I'm finding very excellent about the writing is it does bring in the element of unreliable narrator, and that just, like, people are unreliable, right? Because if we backtrack, right, Porter was insistent that he was, like, apathetic when they were on the phone. That's not apathy.
Yeah, no.
And he was definitely also throwing some, I'm gonna get some kicks in on the way out because this hasn't been fun.
Right, which is like, okay, then as a result, you know, we really do have to take into account personalized bias and personalized perception when we're looking at all these things. And I do feel as though that's not often taken into account, like that actual real life variability and the reason why witnesses are actually the worst kind of evidence that you can acquire in court, because people are unreliable.
Oh yeah. For now, I should just focus on getting as much information from her as possible. Though when she said the silver bullet stuff, and thank you, Zako.
Yeah.
When she said silver bullet, I half expected, allow me to call the accused unlicensed robot daughter. Who is currently working on the only evidence that is reliant on when he would be last seen to have injected the poison.
I think that might not be possible because, again, they're working out the fact that the androids aren't people. So
Fair.
whatever evidence, whatever testimony they could have, you just pull from their brain.
Also, then I'd be getting on my own proper thing, because at that point, then that's very much a, I have said, fuck you, Discovery, and I'm pulling out everything I can to cheat. Whether or not it's useful, it'll at least buy me some time. While Jess was being sworn in, Sarah mentioned the hard drive's about 60% decrypted. Considering the rate Sarah's gone at so far, there's maybe another hour left. I might be able to stall all that long. If only I was a politician, I could just filibuster. If I talk real slow, I'd like to ask you a few questions about Dr. Asher. Please answer them to the best of your ability.
Oh, she's pulling out the lexicon to find the longest words possible. Right.
Which also makes it horrible for me, who's doing her entire voice with a lilt. And also having to sight read. Dr. Asher was a well-known public figure, but was he well regarded professionally?
Of course. Dr. Asher's work set the bar for an entire automated dependent world.
I also just realized we've been going for about an hour and a half. I'd say now might be a good time for a break, because we're not sure what's going to happen once we get to a certain point.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, sorry. I will use the bathroom now. I will be right back. It'll be quick.
As will I, then.
It's just us, chat. My stream now. How are we doing, chat? I gotta ask, chat, while we're stalling, quite literally, if any of y'all are fans of this sort of genre of visual novel style game, I gotta ask, aside from this one, you got any faves? Eating dinner and enjoying the show? Okay, Runewalker. That's awesome. What's for dinner?
I am returned.
Welcome back.
Zaki, you still here?
No, he left.
Okay. Well, I'm going to institute a bit that if we get... We're going to see if how Phoenix Wright versus Danganronpa this game is by the time we possibly get to the, at least, end point of this, because I think we're going to have multiple cases in episode 1, possibly.
Maybe.
Well, I'm going off of what I know of Phoenix Wright games. And Phoenix Wright games, I know, you can tell how long they are by how many cases they have. And if it is a full case an episode, then we have 5 cases for this game.
I'm back.
Welcome back. And now, Zako, since you're the one who knows the reference, I'm just going to say, if we get a reaction from the gallery, we're definitely doing our own Charlie Brown adults. I don't care. I'm stealing an amazing bit, and then we can just fucking have our own fun. All right. You read this one, all right? Correct?
Yes.
I love proud Sarah. Stay focused, Spearmint. You say you coordinated his communications. Were there ever threats? Did people ever express an intent to harm him?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Intent.
I'm feeling like that's gonna be sustained.
Did anyone ever threaten him?
There were times when he was the focus of negative attention.
How so?
Dr. Asher was a favorite subject of many conspiracy theorists. With all of his contributions to the field, it was easy for them to make claims about his influence.
Oh, don't tell me he had Exanon people. I assume by 2086 there's going to be several more letters down the line.
In the cyberpunk future, it's probably gotten worse.
Yeah, I know.
Like, hell, we were talking to the crowd earlier at the early part of the game when we left the apartment, and they were saying,
yeah.
like, they're putting stuff in the food, man. They'd say that his work was plagiarized, or that he was hiding illegal subcommands in the technology he helped develop.
And people would contact him about these conspiracy theories?
Relevance?
Whether or not people wanted to kill him.
Well,
Withdrawn.
Emma? I want you to remember the exact energy I came at you with a little while ago. I think you need to focus on that. I know you're not good at social cues, but I'm somehow better at them than you. Which says a lot. Miss Starling.
People would attempt to contact him, yes. But their messages were always too vague for the police to take action on. They would say that he belonged to jail, or that he couldn't avoid the truth, or that someone should do something to shut him up.
Do they ever talk about hurting him?
Yes. But I always turn those messages straight over to the police.
yeah. I'm seeing that on the record. Yeesh. Who writes this stuff?
All those cases have long since been resolved, Your Honor. And none of the parties involved have had direct contact with David Asher in years. The police take harassment very seriously. For the rich people, specifically, I remember that.
I hope my pop filter did not eat that.
We got like a brief bit of it, which I think kind of makes it funnier.
Well, I mean, I think you guys only got a brief bit. I'm pretty sure OBS would have caught that. It's just, I'm not sure how good my pop filter actually is.
All that I heard was like the oh. Something you want to add, counselor?
Just clearing my throat. May I continue? Let's see what we just got. Oh, we got a lot. Okay, so recorded calls. We know that one. And it's all in the penumbra, so it's basically owned by Noble. Yeah. Also, great seeing you two. David Asher has experienced harassment, stalking from conspiracy theorists throughout his career at Noble, which is very long, like 20 years. Actually, no, it was only 8 years, which made their rise that much crazier.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with Dr. Asher for many years. Did you have a relationship outside of work? Did you ever talk about anything besides professional concerns?
Sure, we've gone out to dinner or met on the weekends. I think he'd like to pick my brain since he needed a relationship advice a lot.
That tracks! In fact, I think we have a room full of people that will say, that tracks.
Even if we didn't realize that what he was asking for. I like to think that he knew he could talk to me, but...
Did he ever talk to you, or to your knowledge anyone else, about hurting himself?
God, no, never!
Do you know of any history he might have had with mental illness, depression, anxiety? We know he can instill it.
No.
So when you heard the people argue that Dr. Asher had done this to himself...
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
You're saying that you can't believe?
Objection.
Okay, I definitely like the track change there.
Oh no, Emma's taking the training wheels off.
On what grounds? This is a very gravelly road, Emma. You might want your training wheels.
Asked and answered, stalling, and also... The people have documents that would be of interest to the court in this matter.
Do you see? And what matter, specifically, are you referring to?
The deceased mental health history.
Emma wouldn't be speaking up if she didn't have something real. So what the hell is this?
We have private correspondences that describe...
If they're private, then they should not have been obtained by the people without his permission.
He can't give permission if he's already dead, and we're well within our rights to obtain evidence as it pertains to his crime.
Convincing.
Damn, I didn't honestly expect to stop her from admitting her evidence into the record. But I was hoping to at least slow her. Where are you on that footage?
77%. Approximately.
Need to buy whatever time I can, however I can, even if it means running out the clock as a punching bag.
I have here messages between Dr. Asher and a psychiatrist he was meeting with and speaking to for the past year. Along with paperwork detailing this treatment was covered under his Platinum plan. Wait, hold up.
I knew he had a high plan, but Platinum sounds like the top.
No, he had like executive, like, use the schedule, pay for I think there was a second platinum, a second plan thing.
I know. I was reading that one to compare it to. Yeah.
Yeah, he had Executive 4, which was like the lowest. Executive plan for Caduceus only offers 3 levels of employer-provided plans that outrank it. So this is the lowest, and she's somehow saying he had the highest. So there's something to poke at.
Also, because we haven't done in a minute. Where was it? Yeah.
The save. Oh no, that was.
I can get us back. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. So now you guys can take a big break if you want, because I gotta click a bunch.
I think if you hold space.
You're right. No, that only does as much as clicking the mouse.
Ah, damn.
You're fine.
Oh, there we go. Yep, you were raised here.
Oh yeah, motive. I do want to say my favorite part of playing Morgan is either when she's being aggressively sweet to be petty, or when she is fucking livid. I think you can tell that that's my acting range.
I gotta say, I have enjoyed playing David so far. The intelligent but emotionally wrecked human being who does not know how to properly communicate with people.
Or robots. To which he is God.
Hey, thanks for the compliment.
At this point, I'd actually believe he might take that. David's a complex individual that I'm not sure I exactly like, but I'm defending.
Oh no, what does that say about me?
Zako, if we're talking about the toxic yaoi of our friendship, I'm pretty sure most of the toxic's on my end. Yeah, I love that CG. I love it so much. That's just full light. That's just full light Yagami facing, and I love it. I love you for it. So, Chad, how are you doing? Even if it was for, like, a fraction of a second, I got to see proud Sarah again, so I'm feeling revived. There's a save. And then I'll save again once we get to the actual betting part.
Excuse me.
I love how
Damn it, we're passing the hiccups back and forth.
Oh lord. I also want to point out, the demo did such a good job being like, okay, Emma seems so much more like nice, liking, and like reasonable that Morgan's whole like despising of her seems unwarranted. Now we're getting it, and as players, we are okay. No, we are on Morgan's side. Fuck you. Also, I would have just loved a slight moment between Sarah and Morgan that would just been like, so, Morgan, have you ever heard of the concept of masking? Not Morgan, Sarah. Have you ever heard the concept of masking? Platinum plan. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, this is new, Zako.
But I am prepared to read excerpts from messages and transcripts from phone calls, which, when put together, paint a clear picture of the kind of stress David Asher was experiencing and the dark thoughts he was struggling with.
Transcripts of his phone calls.
I'll admit them into evidence, assuming there are no objections.
Now here's where I'm saving. I'm never saving through the phone again. I'm saving through the UI. I learned my lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Because we do. We know he's not on that plan.
Oh, yes.
I'll gladly object. On the grounds of foundation. Where did you say you got this?
It was retrieved from his digital records. There's no reason to doubt its authenticity.
Even if I were to point out that David had an executive level 4 plan, not a platinum plan.
What?
Really? Really?
Yes, really. It's all there in the record. Why didn't you read this if you were going to make it a sticking point, Emma?
This is...
Yeah, this is why I keep talking about Discovery.
This is easily explained. David had an executive plan that Noble managed for him. And he was also seeing his psychiatrist, both in person and over the phone. Your own witness has attested that he dealt with stalkers and was worried for his privacy. So it's easy enough to reason that he had a separate insurance policy he had paid for on his own. Even if only to keep one thing out of Noble's grasp.
Sure, easy enough to make that assumption and speculation. But that doesn't make it correct. David used a separate insurance to hide his psychiatrist from Noble's spying. No, he was smarter than that. It's also on the plan that he supposedly has through Noble specifically.
Also, he couldn't really hide it from Noble anyway because they recorded his phone calls.
I'm also going to say because this is the first time we can up the ante and I need to get back a lot of chips.
Yeah. You remember which button does that? Or can you just click it? Oh, okay. Yeah, crank that shit.
Okay, let's look at here.
Young's testimony, Drake statement.
The UI's not great for mouse. I'm wondering if it's better for controller.
Values, yep. Ah, there it is, because all the phone calls were recorded by Noble, so even if he had, like, a different insurance plan, what would be the point? They record everything.
Yeah, and then let's just check the other one. That's just the autopsy. Okay, here we go. David may very well have wanted a private psychiatrist, someone who didn't work for Noble, who'd have his best interest at heart. But if so, he wouldn't have contacted them over the phone. Not when he knew all his phone calls were being different read for the face. Not when he knew all his phone calls were being recorded.
That's...
me disproving your speculation. David Asher was well-versed in having every aspect of his life overanalyzed by data-hungry parasites. Do you really think he would try and hide mental health problems from them with a second insurance policy?
Apparently, yes, since I'm standing here with evidence that shows exactly that.
Also, according to...
Oh, Runewalker
yeah.
says, UI's are even harder on handheld? Oof.
Listen, all great games have to have one flaw. Does it, though?
Which is kind of the opposite problem that the Danganronpa, like, PC ports had. If you're using a controller, you're fine, but if you try to use mouse and keyboard, you're pretty much fucked.
Oh, it's bad, yeah.
Pardon me?
So that means my only experience with Danganronpa as a player was actually better than I thought it was, which is sad.
Oof.
Yeah, like, what exactly are you suggesting, counselor?
Still not done decrypting?
Well, it's difficult to...
Right. What the hell? Might as well swing for the fences at this point, especially when I got back all that credit. I'm not trying to muddle the issue or confuse the court, Your Honor. And I would never make outlandish, unsubstantiated claims just for the sake of causing drama.
What are you...
I'm merely concerned that D.A. Rockford has been an unwitting pawn in an act of corporate espionage.
Oh, we're going for that ballpark.
I mean, someone is basically saying our buddy was having mental health issues that could be easily exploited and easily found by a layman that he really should not have had.
What?
If the markets were open Monday with people believing that David Asher the man who programmed the brain of every noble android, was battling mental health issues for the last several months?
Objection! Mischaracterization? Foundation? All the rest?
We literally were just talking about QAnon people making conspiracy theories about him. If you gave them this softball, it would destroy Noble.
There are no corporate spies in the courtroom, Counselor, and there are no boogeymen hiding under the bench. We just established before we started that everyone with the cybernetic eyes is being spied on by their corporate masters.
Yes, and they're also unpaid interns. Also, hi, Bubba. Welcome to, Things Have Gotten Spicy.
Oh, thank God.
David Asher was a once-in-a-generation intellect and an extremely valuable human asset to his employer. And his employer's many enemies would do whatever it takes to destroy his credibility now that he can't defend himself.
And he was also your personal... Dude, you shouldn't even be arguing his case in the first place, Counselor. Now you're trying to call the police's evidence gathering into question? All because you can't admit that for the past several months, your friend has been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday and you didn't know? Oh, she's pushing that button.
Saris, I want you to open that briefcase. Inside that briefcase, you will find cigarettes, a bottle of whiskey, and a gun. Depending on how this conversation goes, you are going to hand me one of them. That is...
Sorry, but, like... Did you still need me up here?
The witness will refrain from interrupting when the girls are fighting.
Okay, yeah, I really do like 80.
Yes, ma'am.
With how my luck's been so far, Sarah's progress bar is probably moving backwards right about now. And Emma's patience is wearing thin. This could be my last shot to create any kind of reasonable doubt. I'd be happy to wrap up my questioning if the court will allow.
That seems cool with me.
And my evidence, Your Honor, will it be entered into the record?
I'd like to hear a bit more testimony before deciding.
That's fine, Your Honor.
I actually like the girls fighting, so if she can make a few more swings, this will be fun.
As you were, Counselor.
At this stage of the game, with the score where it's at, I can probably only ask one more question. Better make it count so that Starling tells us that no one else could. I'm going to check and make sure anything else wasn't added into evidence besides the platinum plan. Oh, a lot! Okay.
Oh, they updated a manufacturer. Oh, no, this stuff is new because we lost the save.
Oh. Thanks for catching that, Zako. Yeah,
Yep.
so the only thing should be platinum plan, or we should also check her testimony.
David Asher experienced harassment, stalking, or conspiracy theorists. Yeah.
But the thing we'll probably point out is the actual thing that he does have insurance and training to deal with espionage.
Hmm.
Let's see, where is it?
That one.
Yep, CCE. Or psychiatric evaluations. Okay. Oh! That's why! He was literally just learning not to be a spy or an asset. So I'm definitely gonna fully, like, throw her under the bus with every credit I have. If she hadn't called me this morning, I wouldn't be standing here, and she only did that because... Miss Starling, we're all gathered here to try and figure out what happened to Dr. Ashes last night. So please tell us, when exactly did he last?
Contact you?
There's gonna be a save, because I think this is a hard we lose if we don't get the right one. Okay, if I'm gonna think...
I want to say contact you because, like maybe he might have talked to her between the call with Isaac
Yes,
and
yes.
suicide.
Or even have a call to her right before he died.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got a window. When's the last time you had contact with Dr. Asher, Miss Starling?
Oh, well, that's pretty easy to figure out. Let me just... Yeah, it was last night at 6:57 p.m. We texted back and forth. There are records of some texts, but they're flagged as work-related. Does the court really think they're relevant, Your Honor?
Yes, because he was getting relationship advice even though he didn't know it. The texting makes...
I say yes.
Yeah, the texting makes a big difference. It could very well be the single most important piece of evidence in this whole trial. I say as
What?
too much saliva gets stuck in the back of my throat, changing my voice.
I just got chills. Don't know why, though.
Must be a coolant leak. The defense doesn't know what they're talking about.
On the contrary, these texts are vital. A piece of information that changed the timeline of events, knowing them. So, let's read the timeline. Okay. Text messages from starting at 6:57 the night he died. David asked her to set up a meeting between the two of them and Evangeline Morgan on Tuesday to handle the transfer of ownership of SERRA for the... Yeah! I will repeat this because I need to do this for going into the next thing. On the contrary, these texts are a vital piece of evidence that changed the timeline of events as we know them. We know that what happened to David Asher last night, generally speaking, but the order of events is critical, especially if Emma wants to make claims about David's state of mind. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I want to say Isaac's call was first at 6:30.
David passing out doesn't give it time.
Dave passed out. I think that's probably Young's testimony. You know, they've already died.
Yeah, so it's...
Sorry, stream desync. Just a second. Let me
Okay.
stop. Where's the stopwatchy button? There we go.
That's fine. I'm going to save and also try to, like, raise a shit ton.
All right, we're synced up now.
Okay, cool. This is actually pretty cut and dry. Yes, that's it! Oh, there we go! Thanks, Miss Starling, we now got a much clearer picture of the night's events. Specifically, that he had a future. We know that Isaac Porter and David Asher broke up at 6:30 p.m.
And I was rooting for them so hard.
Girl, read the room.
I am, and it's delicious.
That's tasting the room, but okay, I'm not going to keep fighting with someone who's possibly on my side. And we know that David's messaged his assistant starting at 6:57 p.m. David is on camera with the witness from 7:30 to 8 p.m. And he was declared dead not long after.
The people don't object to that timeline of events. But we do question Counselor Morgan's reason for belaboring it.
Oh. Yeah. One last question, Miss Starling.
Yeah?
And one bit of advice, don't do legalized drugs on the stand. Especially when they're basically speed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what
You
happened?
still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you might want to stop for just a second. Sounds like everything's on a hiccup.
Yep.
Ah, okay. Well then, stream's not getting it. This is just Discord.
Okay, I think we might be good now.
Okay. What was the nature of your conversation with Dr. Asher?
Well, actually, we talked about you. Huh? And how he wanted you to have his android. That android there. Putting his affairs in order, I guess.
It might appear that way. Can you specify what his instructions were exactly? How did he want this done?
Well, he wanted me to bring you to his penthouse and help you get set up as the android's new owner.
Yes, Miss Starling, but when did he want this to happen?
Well, he said it was pretty urgent, and so I should do it first thing Tuesday morning. Tuesday?
First thing Tuesday morning. David Asher didn't like doing anything on Mondays. And he was going to be in attendance.
Well, actually, yes, he said he would work from home to help us. No way he intended for us to have that much trouble getting to... Oh. Oh!
To summarize, then, half an hour after he had already had his breakup and half an hour before his guest had arrived, he was planning an appointment that would require his presence with you for next Tuesday.
That's right, he was!
Not something you would think to do if you were planning on dying that very night, Emma!
Yeah, you're right. That's...
Your Honor, if David Asher was preparing for the week ahead, a mere hour before he passed away, don't you think the people's assumption about his mental state ought to be re-examined?
That's...
Your logic is sound. Do the people have a rebuttal?
If the court will just allow a moment.
Sounds like an opening to me. If we assume that Dr. Asher was not suicidal and therefore did not kill himself, we must then ask ourselves who else had the means, motive, and opportunity to take his life. Until now, we've taken for granted this idea that Delta must have come from his nanofacturer, from inside the house. Not right now, Spearmint. But even if that's true, which it may not be, that doesn't mean that he was the one who used the nanofacturer. Sarah? Well, not Sarah, Sarah. Would you allow me one moment with my assistant? To confer, Your Honor.
Sure. Why not throw away your momentum?
That's not how this game works, and you know it, Sarah. I'm in the middle of something, Sarah. I can't afford to let Rockford.
I have gained access to the hard drive's files.
What? Seriously?
As I said, progress with this type of encryption is exponential. It can be difficult to estimate.
Right, okay. Do you have the footage from last night?
I have the file.
Have you watched it?
I thought you'd want to know right away.
Suppose it doesn't matter. Either this has our silver bullet, or we've got a case. And we've got a case, or it doesn't and everything falls apart.
That seems quite risky.
It's the least risky path to victory we have.
Let's go gambling!
Seeing how it's the only path to victory without me just pointing out the fact that he had corporate espionage training that was masked under psychiatric help, which undermines pretty much the entire defense of the prosecution.
Zako, the way that you
Yeah.
said that, I thought you were gonna be like, let's get ready to rumble!
Not quite.
Also, I love it because Morgan has now done a thing that because we're all friends with Citric and something we've adopted, fuck it, we ball. Screw it. Upload it to the court computer.
Yes.
Thank you for your patience, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
I'm awake. And I'm getting a pretty hefty chunk of video data for breakfast.
you're submitting security footage into evidence? New security footage?
The police corroborated that the witness testimony using the house's cameras. Security cameras installed by Noble as part of the penumbra system that showed the parlor, the kitchen, but not the basement. During the course of my investigations, I uncovered a hidden security circuit buried in the deceased's own home system.
You... what?
The people say that Delta must have been in Dr. Asher's cup because there's no other way for him to have ingested it. But we never saw him or anyone else put anything in his cup on camera.
Because he must have poisoned his own drink off camera.
Exactly.
What?
That's the only possible explanation, that he added the Delta to his drink off camera. He placed his cup inside the manufacturer, activated it, waited 2 minutes, then walked upstairs to his death. But I'm about to present into the court footage retrieved from his basement. Footage that will show by the time he retrieved the cups in the basement, it was already 7:38. Meaning he didn't have the opportunity to poison himself.
One clip of footage will prove all that.
If it doesn't, I'm completely screwed. But it's not like I can lose a preliminary hearing extra hard. Anything other than a royal flush here means I'm bust. So, better to be the Joker who dances.
The data has been entered into the court record.
Sarah, show us when Dr. Asher entered the basement.
Yes. I'll search for it now. Here.
On screen. Number 1. That's the bar, and the timestamp is 7:36. There. David grabbing the bottle of Rose River. And leaving at 7:37.
It's 7:37. It's my line. Just under the wire, as it were.
Is that it, then? I came this far just to... Wait. Did he have the cups with him?
Is there sound?
None at all.
Keep going if he had to go back to get the cups.
Counselor, what's that android doing on camera?
Sarah!
It's at the bar. The android gave him the cups.
Shit.
That machine never stepped on camera upstairs, not once. We don't know its whereabouts the day of his death.
Fucking damn it! Sorry,
It could have poisoned the cup whenever it wanted.
I forgot the fucking rule of Ace Attorney. The first case is always having to defend fucking Maya.
Yeah, but this is a good Maya.
Doesn't change the fact we got played like a damn fiddle.
A very Danganronpa of them.
Shit.
Rocco, you know what I mean.
Aw, dang it.
What is this?
I don't understand.
Your Honor, have the courtroom cleared.
Understood.
Please, someone. I don't know what's going on.
Sarah, you need to shut down.
Please tell me what I'm looking at. I don't remember any of that.
Do we have callers available?
Sarah, shut down now!
Please tell me what
That's an order. Aw, sleeping Sarah's cute.
Is it off?
Yeah, it's off. I've seen this before. It won't do anything until I reactivate it.
We
Don't
don't know that. We don't know anything about this thing anymore.
That's...
Your Honor. In light of this most recent evidence, the people would like to withdraw their charges against Dr. Asher and end this preliminary hearing. It has been made abundantly clear that David Asher did not commit suicide.
Very well. The charges are withdrawn and the defendant is free to go.
To hell!
Well, as free as he can be in the afterlife.
So... infinitely free.
Free to splash. I'll see myself out. The case is dismissed. Congratulations, Counselor Morgan.
Yay, chalk up another victory for Morgan Esquire.
She did accomplish what she set out to do.
Now all I have to do is deal with the shitstorm of the decade! Someone's dying tonight! Well, I managed to prove that David didn't kill himself. And in the process, I proved that his android did. I proved that the android that's been walking around with me all day is capable of murder. A killer robot, a true unbound AI with military-grade specs, and at least one death to its name already. So much for avoiding the public eye.
Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Judge Barrows.
Oh, a person judge. This is bad.
I'll take her. Huh. As if I'm doing you some kind of favor. I didn't realize I had any choice in the matter. This isn't some bad joke, is it, Miss Rockford? I'm afraid not, Your Honor. You know, I like the adjutants. I always have. They deal with the criminal trials so that bookish, quiet, contemplative people like me can spend all day tying up arguments for obscure legal treatises. That's what I like to do.
Oh, we got a profile, so we gotta check on this. We gotta find out if we're about to step on a landmine here. A superior judge of the higher circuit. Oh, great!
Oh no!
Likes air conditioning espressos and reclining chairs. Yeah. Hates parking lots, noise pollution, and mud. Yeah, you're definitely a public servant. Avoids overspending on restaurants.
I mean,
Okay.
fair.
I mean, that's fair, but it also just means that, wow, even a higher circuit judge can't, like, just fucking bill it out as, like, an expense. Splurges on
Well, you say that.
Yeah. Okay, now I see where her stuff is. And watching action movies, did I expect for her? You go.
Oh, she's big on Die Hard.
Die Hard, or actually, no. Looking at her, she looks like a person who will apologize for Dolph Lundgren performances. And I'm also going to save just because now we're out of the court section. This should be the last one we have to make before we end the stream.
I don't like coming down here dealing with all this heavy-handedness.
Won't someone toiling away under the police state think of the poor bureaucrats?
And I certainly don't like making rulings on anything as spicy as AI.
You truly are a civil servant in a dystopia. She can barely bring herself to say it.
And you, Counselor Morgan, you're the one it's registered to?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So what did it do, exactly?
Oh, they didn't tell you anything! Wow. No wonder you're so mad.
Torture an animal, shut down a hospital, crash a coin market. We have it on camera poisoning a man. Killing its creator. You mean Dr. Asher?
At that point, I would literally say, we have it on camera handing him a pair of glasses, one which might have been poisoned. That is all we have on camera.
That is... We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. All we can do is try to wrap it up quickly. Let's make case. Adjutant, do you have the case number? Oh boy, good luck on this cold read.
Oh, I got you. Case ID is 241277-A. Docket number YT984318282.
Hey! Golf clap,
It's
golf
almost
clap,
like I
golf
work
clap.
for the government.
Thank you. Can you repeat that?
YT984318282.
I think I lost you after the first 8. Oh my god. I have it copied here. And what are the security protocols for an incident of this nature?
A data quarantine is to be established around any networks the subject was exposed to for more than 66 seconds. All offending hardware is to be destroyed immediately through incineration at a minimum temperature of 3,422 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes.
Sorry, Spearmint. There's nothing to be done, no debate to be had. This isn't even a decision. Actually, you could make it, I just know you don't like Sarah, so I'm playing it that way. Sorry, Sarah. No, not Spearmint. David gave you a name, I should at least make the effort to use it.
Sounds very hot. Do we have furnaces that get that hot?
Of course, there are a number of industrial furnaces within the city limits that I could recommend.
Oh, so she's so high in the damn political machine that she doesn't even know the city.
Yeah, and also, sorry? Why should I be sorry anyway? I fulfilled the request, favor repaid. I don't owe Sarah anything, especially not if it killed my friend.
Right, Morgan?
I'm sorry. You need to understand, I spent a lot of time in my mind palace. I'm very unresponsive and disassociate a lot.
I was just saying how grateful I am that we have the procedures for this kind of thing all laid out already.
Yep, keeps things nice and simple.
It can feel somewhat severe going through these steps so quickly, but...
But nothing, Your Honor. Artificial intelligence is perhaps the greatest threat to human civilization and the sanctity of life there's ever been. Any piece of software, big or small, no matter the vessel, if it can violate the tenets it was programmed with, it has the potential to cripple our nation in a matter of moments.
Yes, I could have said it better myself. Straight from the textbook, almost.
I don't want lip from you, Emma! Well, I mean it. Monsters like that don't belong in this world. Oh no, I just see where I found my emotional attachment. They should have never been born in the first place. Destroying them is a kindness. And if anyone's to blame, it's...
No one's blaming you, Counselor. You couldn't have known you were in possession of an AI.
I'm talking too much. Probably just tired. It's been a long day and I've had a lot of thoughts. Sorry, Sarah, whatever you are. You were just born wrong. Not your fault, necessarily. If it were up to me, you'd get points for trying. Trying to be something more. Trying to be something at all. Or anything other than what you are. It was stupid, of course, and futile, and pointless spending hours in front of a TV or laying in bed staring at your phone. Watching stupid movies and trying to paper mache an ill-fitted mask of humanity out of the scraps you could tear out of magazines. Practicing expressions and memorizing lines and trying to get something to take root and grow despite knowing it had nothing to feed on.
It's the pose.
Stupid.
Morgan.
I love that of all the people, Emma is the one who has the heightened reflex to know, oh no. Something just happened. A neuron fired.
What was that, counselor?
I said, objection.
And what are you objecting to? What are you doing, Morgan?
I'm a defense attorney. This is what I do.
I understand that you've been through a lot these past few hours, counselor. But there's nothing to defend.
On the contrary, Your Honor, I have to defend myself.
Pardon?
You say that this android, SERRA, is an AI because it broke the tenants, and I'm going to have to use the bathroom now because I'm not sure how long they're going to drag this episode out. I will be right back.
Sure.
So Zakro,
Man.
I texted her.
Oh?
She said that your username was familiar, but she couldn't pinpoint why.
Ah, close enough.
Yeah, no, really.
It could also be the fact that my username literally is just pretty much like Zaku2, so...
Yeah.
I am back and I'm physically hurting because I'm realizing we're just reenacting the first case of both games. Also, I put my
Yeehaw.
headphones on wrong. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, no. Someone was framed, and we now have to prove their innocence, while now defending ourselves, which makes this quasi part of case 2 of the first game. Okay, you say that Sandra because they broke its tenants.
Obviously.
1 second, I think I might have accidentally pulled my headphones slightly out of their spot. There we go. Bit more volumes coming
Testing,
through. Yeah, you're good.
testing.
Yeah, they wiggled a little. And you believe it broke its tenants because of this newly discovered footage? That appears to show it committing murder via poison.
All true, and no laws broken on your part.
Here it comes. Never thought I'd be incriminating myself in the courtroom just to make a point. Don't you dare don't you dare try and entrap me on this. Well then, since we're going all or nothing. We risk it all for
Let's
the
take a look
biscuit.
here. David's cup.
Test isn't, the cup is inconclusive for poison, so I think that's our bullet.
Well, let's take a look here.
Found inside the panic room. Maybe, but no. Yeah, that's definitely not it, but we do definitely have a handgun no one knows about, but they can trace.
All right, and David's contract. Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah?
I think it's because Morgan's trying to also implicate herself in this. I think the direction she's trying to go is, hey, here's the paper showing it's my property, so by extension, I'm also roped up into this.
So you actually think it's the gun?
No, I think it's the papers.
Alright, here we go. We saved. It's pretty simple, actually. If the state is making the claim that Sarah is an AI, they're accusing me of committing a felony. Because I'm the legal owner of that android, and Zako, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
And if the state wants to charge me with owning an AI, I will not take that lying down. I know my rights.
Counselor, your argument is self-defeating. Listen to yourself, Counselor.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. There we go.
You claim that Sarah is just an android, a product that will be obsolete within a year. But you've only known it for a few hours. You've only owned it for a matter of minutes. And yet here you are risking a felony charge to save it from being demolished.
Because you're wrong.
And I know you wouldn't care.
Bold of you to assume. I actually am kind of curious.
Not unless the android was something special.
Look at us. Me arguing that I'm guilty and Emma arguing that I'm a softie. It'd be funny if it wasn't so fun.
Oh no, Morgan's got the gun to her head and trying to get Emma to play Stop Me, Stop Me.
No, no. The game we're playing is Russian roulette. You think that there's no reason I'd want to save this android from destruction? Other than feelings of personal attachment. Okay, that one, no, it's not gonna be that one.
Oh wait, hang on. Oh no, that was the thing we just did. Yeah, you're right. Sterling's texts.
Yeah!
Oh!
This thing's
yeah.
worth a fucking fortune!
Yeah.
I don't emotionally care about it. This thing's worth a lot.
Yeah.
And I can milk the entire company to get it back from me.
Right, and it's stupidly smart too.
Yep. I can think of at least one reason why I don't want you to turn Sarah into slag. One very
Alright, I want a counter for every single time you call her by my name.
It is
Twice
two
the
letters.
stream so far.
It's like one letter off, and I use your name a lot more than I use Sarah's.
I know, I'm finding
You did
it
it.
very amusing.
That's 3.
All right. One very convincing reason. One very convincing number.
What are you? What is that?
That number is Sarah's estimated financial value on the collector's market.
You've gotta be.
I got it from an insurance evaluation algorithm. They're designed to lowball you.
That does seem like a reasonable incentive for you want to keep your android intact.
It's a free country, Your Honor. I have a right to defend myself. And we have a free market, so I have a responsibility to defend my financial interests.
Your Honor, a trial like this would be... I'm not going to let you turn this courtroom into a circus, Morgan. You can't spend the next half-decade bringing in expert after expert to testify on the philosophical distinctions between AIs and ads.
Oh, I think you misunderstand me. I'm not turning this place into a circus. I'm going to turn it into a casino, and I'm going to beat the house.
Also, it's already a circus. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, the clown's sitting right there on top of the pedestal.
Literally. And you know who the ringmaster is, right?
Spiraling into appeal after appeal, all while the media... This machine appears to have willfully killed a man. The public needs answers now.
Of course, Your Honor. I have neither desire nor the resources to get into a drawn-out battle with the state over what constitutes an illegal machine intellect.
So,
The state says my android, my property, killed a man in violation of its tenets, so they want to take my property and destroy it. I'll prove my machine didn't harm anyone, so the state will have no reason to suspect it's an AI, and I'll get to keep my property. Unlawful seizure thwarted.
don't be cute. feel a stomach ulcer coming on.
That's a you problem, so probably don't drink vodka.
Fine. You'll have your day in court, but it'll be one day tomorrow.
Wow, we really are Phoenix writing this. I got it.
Prove that this machine didn't kill Dr. Asher. No, prove that it couldn't have killed him.
Okay, it has literal military-grade specs. That's something you can't prove. I can prove that it did not willingly do it.
Anything less than absolute proof, and I'll have that damn thing obliterated. And you'll also be looking at a very real sentencing for the public unrest you'll have enabled.
Yes, Your Honor.
DA Rockford, what I'm asking from you is just as heavy. Find the truth by the end of tomorrow. We can't settle for anything less.
So that means you're going to have to find your own assistant, and they're going to have to be more annoying than the first one.
Win or lose, there can be no doubts about the outcome of this case. Yes, Your Honor. And now, I need to go lie down.
Can I come?
You can power down. Oh, she was all excited for nap time.
I mean, she's still getting nap time. She just doesn't get to join, like, Barrows. So at that point, she's just like, can I snuggle with you? I like to be the little spoon.
Morgan.
Hmm?
I misjudged you.
At what point?
Whenever I wrote you off as a small-time defense attorney just trying to tread water?
That is so sweet of you to say, Emma.
There's layers to you. You've got a backbone. Teeth, even.
Yeah, just don't look at me walk. Just don't notice my hand going into my briefcase right now. You're gonna make me blush, and you're going to bleed.
People talk about your kind like you're boxing against the state, fighting the man. But most defense attorneys wouldn't know a cyberpunk if they walked up to them on the street and shot him.
Okay, I'm pulling my hand out of the briefcase now. That was a very apt metaphor.
Meanwhile, you just signed up to do 15 rounds challenging the state's authority. Why?
Not sure exactly.
For David?
Yeah, probably. Probably just me being sentimental. But if I had to pick a more lofty reason, well, I think it's all the moralizing. People can be evil. They can choose to do evil things for evil reasons. If you want to execute them for that, you'll hear no complaint from me. But animals can't be evil. Information can't be evil. Ideas can't be evil. Guess I'm not convinced AI can be evil either. Whatever else I get up to, I don't want to stand with the book burner of the world.
You're more high-minded than I realized. You sure you're in the right line of work?
Can't see myself doing anything else.
Good luck, Morgan. There are book burners on all sides these days.
I talked a big game just now, but I'm in an even deeper hole than when I was trying to prove David's innocence. Doubt won't be enough this time. I need to find the actual culprit, no matter what.
I feel like this is a really good place for us to pause.
Yeah. And I will pull the screen.
That was good.
Yes. So yeah, no, we're doing a full ass case for the first episode. Now we know how long these are going to be. That being said, I'm going to find someone for us to raid. So you tell people where they can find you both.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Zakoduo, Blue Sky, Zakoduo, Twitter, when it's alive, Zako_duo. Right now, we're trying to hard play through Death Stranding Director's Cut. We're trying to get that done before Death Stranding 2 comes out on the 24th next month. It was on the schedule, but I got sick and couldn't do it, but we're also going to be trying out the newly released Gundam Seed Battle Destiny Remastered. And we're also going to be trying to pick up Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth again. So yeah, that's what I've got going on.
Hey y'all, you can find me all over the internet at Tixdixl. We've got Those Who Wander on this channel tomorrow. And then on Monday we have A New Home over on Skillet Alpha's channel with Pepper Chaser. Other than that, I think this coming week, that's about all I've got, as we've we have to postpone the second episode of Kazdor's Guide to the Cosmos because I got a work thing on Friday. And then we move into the week after. So yeah, that's me.
And hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, over on Patreon, Burnout's Bar. Yeah, we've got Those Who Wander next week. Well, not next week, this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, however
Tomorrow.
you decide to qualify your weeks, okay?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it is tomorrow. Exactly tomorrow. We have it then. And, well, I'm going to be dealing with the repercussions of my actions and how they directly affect everyone in the party negatively, despite my best efforts. I have become the problem, am ashamed of being the problem, do not know how to stop being the problem, but we're at least going to a bar, so I can at least maybe make Branson forget he is the problem. While also knowing at least 2 different characters want to interact with Branson for specific reasons that I do not know their angles on. That being said, the following week we should have Phase of Our Lives, where we're near the conclusion of the module. We are looking at what can be graciously described as probably the big bad. And we're all, I want to say, level 8. Actually, no, I think we're level 9, because I think I got my first 5th level. I'll have to double check that. But, yeah. We're in the thick of it. We're in their house. We're in their walls. They're looking at us. So, probably going to be a fight. Following that, we have Saved by the Spell. Well, our group will be down a leader due to, learning how to sail a ship upside down. Definitely didn't agree with his horrible motion sickness. So the rest of us have to deal with that, and my other character realizing that he constantly keeps being the problem no matter how hard he tries to help and save everyone. So yeah, I get to trauma feel for most of the games I'm playing in. Let's explore that. And we're going to raid our good friend who we'll see tomorrow while we do Those Who Wander, Skillet Alpha, who's doing a new save in Minecraft, trying out some new crazy, like, idea that he's had. I don't follow any of it, I just know that he's doing a bunch of stuff I could never do because it would be way too complex. What should our raid message be?
Morgan's pissed.
Yeah, that works. Alright, everybody, thank you all for coming out. We'll see you again, and we should see you again in 2 weeks' time, but we don't know what's going to happen, so...
Might not be that time because I signed up for a Gundam card game tournament.
Ah, fair. Thanks for letting us know. Well, you will see us in the future. Thank you all for coming out. We love you. Bye-bye.